Now, let's take a look at internal environment and homeostasis of the body. Internal environment and homeostasis are two very important concepts in physiology. Before learning these two concepts, we first introduce body fluid and its composition in order to better understand the above concepts. The liquid in the human body is called body fluid. The body fluid volume of normal adults is about 60% of body weight. 20% of them are distributed outside of the cell, which is called extracellular fluid. 50% of the extracellular fluid is distributed in the interstitial space, which is called interstitial fluid. The remaining 5% is continuously circulating in the blood vessels, which is called plasma. In addition, there are small amounts of lymph and cerebrospinal fluid. 40% of body fluid is distributed in the cell, which is called intracellular fluid. In 1852, Claude Bernard, a French experimental physiologist in the 19th century, first proposed that in organisms, tissues are not directly affected by the external environment, but are protected by a kind of other internal environment, which is mainly composed of body fluid circulating in the body. He observed that although the external environment of the organisms may have great changes, the physical and chemical properties of extracellular fluid are very small. He also observed that many characteristics of higher animals remain constant than those of lower animals. Therefore, he thinks that this difference is due to the development of internal environment in evolution. He pointed out the organisms lives in two environments. One is the constantly changing external environment. The other is relative stable internal environment. In physiology, the body fluid surrounding the cells in multicellular animals, namely extracellular fluid, is called the internal environment of the body, so as to distinguish it from the external environment of the whole body. Bernard further pointed out that the stability of internal environment is the primary condition for the body to live freely and independently in his final book, General Physiology. The common life phenomena of animals and plants. Although all the life mechanisms are diverse, there is only one goal, that is, to maintain the stability of living conditions in the internal environment. After Bernard, the American physiologist Cano pointed out in his famous paper, The Organization of Physiological Homeostasis, in 1929, that the changes of the external environment make the internal disturbance of organisms. Under normal circumstances, these disturbances are kept in a very narrow range because of the function of the automatic adjustment diverse in the system, which prevents large functions and proposed steady state. For the first time, The concept of homeostasis refers to the relatively constant state of physical and chemical properties of the internal environment, such as temperature, pH, osmotic pressure, and various body fluid components. The relatively constant physiological and chemical properties of the internal environment are not fixed, but can be changed within a certain range, but maintain a relatively stable state, which is a kind of dynamic balance. For example, the normal body temperature can fluctuate around 37 Celsius degree, but the daily function range is no more than 1 Celsius degree. The plasma pH can fluctuate between 7.35 and 7.45. In addition to the normal mechanisms of the body, external environment factors such as high temperature, severe cold, and hypoxia can also interfere with homeostasis. And the regulation of neurohormonal mechanisms, the damaged internal environment can be restored in time through the activity of multiple organ systems, so as to realize the homeostasis of the internal environment. Homeostasis has very important physiological significance and is a necessary condition to maintain the normal function and the life activities of cells, organs, systems, and even a whole. If the stability of internal environment is destroyed, the body will suffer from diseases. That's all for today. Thank you.